One of the things that held me back when it comes to actually applying for work, and something that does cross my mind so often, is what if I encounter a bad manager? What if I meet somebody that, what about those jobs that suck? You're putting all this effort to looking for work, and then you end up with a lemon. I mean, it's not always the employer that gets screwed. Sometimes the employee that gets screwed because you're working so hard to get a job, and then you get one, and it's not what you think it is. It's stressful. It doesn't pay well, etc., etc. So what if you put your best foot forward and then you get screwed after that? And the way that I put it this way is that um, first of all, it may not be the job's fault that it sucks. It's just maybe you're just not the right fit, and therefore they are not the right fit, and that happens. It's like a relationship, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, for example, you might encounter a manager that is stressful to you. However, to someone else who has thicker skin, they're perfectly fine with handling that. So it's you know it does boil down to individuals. As in life, there are people that get along, and then there are people that don't get along. There are teams that work well together, and then there are teams that don't work well together. So, having that mentality of blaming the manager, blaming the company, even though there might be legitimate reasons, is not healthy. Having the mentality, a negative perspective that, well, if there's these jobs available, they must not be that great, and that's why they're available, is also not a healthy perspective. Um, the one man's trash is another man's treasure. So you might find a job that's perfectly fine for you, and again, it depends on what you're looking for, your requirements, um, and where you are in life. Not every shoe fits the same foot. And fact being is that some places are better to work at than others, and some are worse, and some companies are great, and some companies are not so great. It still boils down to your ability to find something else, your ability to maneuver yourself, your ability to market yourself. It still goes round in that circle back to that. A lot of people get a position because they were fortunate to get that position, not because they marketed themselves correctly. So when they do get the position, they feel trapped. They have to stick with it, and they're not really motivated to go out and look for something better. Ability precedes motivation. That is to say, if you're able to market yourself, then what follows is the motivation to want more, to aspire for greater things, to say, well, I'm working at this place flipping burgers at McDonald's, but I can work here and make even more and move up and take it to a whole new level. But that is after your ability. That is once you have that ability again to promote yourself. And unfortunately, um, in this society, one of the biggest problems, if you notice, you know, if you notice that one of the biggest problems, one of the things that I notice is that, I said notice like 4 times, is that essentially in any economy where you find there are lots of unemployed people and people struggling to find work, there is one common denominator. The common denominator is that they were never taught in school or never taught anywhere how to apply for work. It's one of those things that they don't really, and the institutions that supposedly teach it, maybe there's something out there for unemployed people, don't do a very good job at it, at teaching people how to look for work. And so this connection between not having the skills to apply for work and many people having difficulty finding work, are these two things are connected to each other. Okay, and you'll find that in any economy that's struggling, I mean, where there's a lot of unemployed people that are struggling, that it's actually coincidental that they also belong to an area where they're not really learning how to apply for work either. And that also goes with managers that don't know how to look for employees and so on. So, first, you should develop the skills. Number one, you should always develop the skills. Have the skills set up. Have your resume, cover letter, job hunting skills tight. Don't be the arrogant person that says, "Well, I have a resume. I have a." It's not. I have a resume. I have a cover letter. Do you have a functional, working, good one that actually promotes you appropriately? Lots of people think that as long as they have a resume and cover letter, they're fine. It's really about, is it done correctly? Is it done in a good way? How is it done? Okay, so you've got to really check to make sure that you are on top of your game. Not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I mean, no one says you have to be 100% perfect before you look for a job. But put some effort into it other than, well, I wrote a resume, I wrote a cover letter, you know. And once you have your, job hunting skills tight, then you can complain about there's not enough work or I've done the best I could. I guarantee, 90% of people who complain are people that don't have their act together and are not putting consistent effort. But the first thing they're going to do is complain, because people, again, in this type of society are taught that they're old jobs, that it's supposed to just come to them magically, that they have a need and then their need is fulfilled, and that's not how it works. The way it works is you have to put yourself out there and you have to be the hunter, not the hunted. Uh, get the position and just market yourself, and then after you've done that, if nothing turns up, then the next step after that is to say, well, maybe I need to brush up on some skills, or maybe I need to lower my standards and find something that is a better fit for my skill set, until I develop greater skills to then move up to whatever it is that I've been wanting to do. So sometimes you got to be realistic, you know. You're not going to be a CEO or manager or like something great right away overnight. It takes time, it takes effort. On the other hand, you might get something really great. No one said once you get used to it and you get good at it and it becomes normal for you, then you're able to uh, even go higher, to have who says you can't apply for certain positions that might be a little over your head? Who said that? Try it. You never know. You might actually land a really awesome position. But number one is, get your marketing, get everything together, and don't worry too much about, oh, what if this, what if I get a job and it sucks, I mean, or even let other people bring you down. Other people say, oh, that company sucks. Well, maybe for them, or maybe they just ended up in the wrong branch, wrong area of the company. It may not be the same experience for you. So, good luck, peace, I'm out.